So this project is to build some cubbies for this cottage closet. I tried to design the cubby cut sheet on AI. I wanted to use a single 4x8 sheet of plywood with a ledger board underneath for hooks. It just didn't work, so I just ended up hand drawing it myself. Sometimes that's just the reliable way to go. You'll get measurements along the way. So here's the closet where the cubbies will go. So this measures about 76 inches across, so that's going to be the total width of the cubbies. Put it at the right height so we can put some hooks underneath it and hang winter coats and snow pants and things like that. We don't have a shop at the cottage, so I put the 4x8 sheet of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood, on a couple of sawhorses. I had a piece of angle aluminum from another project, clamped it down, put a screw in the middle for a straight edge. It works well enough. Later I cut the pieces on a table saw to get them straighter. So there's two 10 3/4 pieces. These are the top. And then one 10-inch piece, that's the back. And then those are later cut a quarter inch on two sides. And there's a 6-inch piece left over for hooks. So what I'm going to do is take a quarter off everything. So 10 3/4 becomes 10.5. A 10-inch square spacer becomes 9 3/4 square. And my 10-inch board on the back likewise becomes 9 3/4. So here I am sizing the boards on the table saw. I had to cut one side on the long boards, two sides on the spacers, because I want those to be square. I didn't use dados because I felt that glue and nails would be strong enough for a project like this. There's not going to be a lot of stresses on these cubbies like there would be for a shelving unit or something like that. So here's where I'm measuring the dividers, starting with the ends. Here's the math showing where to put the lines of each divider on center. So I use glue as well as the nailer there. They're 2-inch nails. Of course, the nails are quite thin, so they will go not where you want them to, and you can see that I'm using some pliers here to try to get one that came through to the side, and a hammer, pliers, hammer. It's frustrating. With regular lumber you can often pull them through, but with plywood it's really difficult. I had to do about 5 this way, and I'll show you sort of what happened when I knew that was not going to work. Didn't learn my lesson. So that was a rather frustrating half an hour or so getting nails out. I'm giving in. I'm just going to use regular finishing nails and a hammer. Okay, I lied. I actually used the nailer on the end because I had to sort of bend the board because it has a bit of a bow in it to start, and then I used the hammer and nails there on in, and it worked quite well. So this is just sort of the rest of the assembly of the cubbies. So here we're back at the closet, and I'm trying to figure out where to put the cubbies, the height. I ended up settling at 60 inches, 5 feet. There's a ledger board underneath the 6-inch board that has the coat hangers. I just wanted to make sure that those were going to hang above the boot rack. Here I am just putting some blocks of wood on and making sure they're level because I'm doing this by myself. And I had to pre-drill some holes in the cubbies and put the screws in. You'll see that next. Just, because it's it's very heavy to lift a 6-foot plus cubby on your own. Here I am pre-drilling, and then put a couple screws in where the studs are at 16-inch centers. And of course, your cubbies have to be big enough to fit your drill. Unfortunately, mine was make sure you drill your holes high enough that you can squeeze your drill in. And here I am. The ledger board's already on. I rounded the corners on the bottom. It's snug up underneath, and here are some 3-pronged hooks. And here's what it looks like. Eventually we'll paint it. Hope that helps. Here's the finish measurements for the cubbies from my original drawing. Thanks for watching.